It's eFinch.com.
Hey, it's Terrace with eFinch. So I'm doing my fall cleanup, getting ready for winter, putting everything away, which includes some of the flower pots, which, by the way, you should take the dirt out of your flower pots over the winter, because if there's moisture in it, it can freeze and break your flower pot. Anyway, I stopped by Home Depot this morning and found a great score of some cheap lumber in the discount section. Most of you may not know, but most hardware stores, if they have scrap lumber, they'll have a discount section in the back. And while I was down there, I think I found enough lumber to actually build a shelf under my deck in order to store my flower pots. It'll help keep things organized, keep the flower pots safe. Usually every year, inevitably, we store them under our deck, something knocks them over. But I want to share it with you because I think it could really help you out. Let's do it. So here I am. Welcome to the underdeck. I want to figure out how low I want to put the shelf. So the first thing you should do is grab your trusty tape measure and go underneath. You want to at least leave like 2 feet so you can stack the pots up underneath your on your shelf. But you want to make sure that you account for the rafters and you're not too low. As you can see, I'm standing on the ground. So I don't want a shelf that's too low because then it would just be putting the pots on the ground, which makes no sense. So I took my measurements. I know exactly how far down the shelf has to be from the deck, and I included on the posts that are going to hold the shelf for the hangers, included about 6 or 7 inches in order for me. I'm going to do this sort of just quickly. To put nails in. I'm not going to use any braces. Next thing to do is to cut my big plank right here, which is actually going to make the bottom portion of the shelf. I'm just going to measure this, cut it in half, and that'll give it the depth. It'll be a kind of a short shelf, right about there, and then 25 inches. I need 4. So, now that the cutting is done, let me show you what I did here. I cut the 2 planks, just cut them in half, and then I cut 4 posts, or 4 hangers. Each one of these are about 25 inches apiece. And then I also cut 3 small supports. If you look, so when I put these actually close together, they'll go underneath, spread them out, give the strength. Tip I wanted to give you guys when you're putting the brackets on the side. If you can see here, I put them in the side here. I only put 1 in this bottom section. Essentially what that allows that to do is for this to move. I don't know if you can see it. For that to move from side to side. Oops. This way when I put it up, I can make sure that it's plumb. And then I'll put that last screw in, or the last nail in, as I know that it's good and in place. It's getting dark, but I had to go pick up my wife's car from the shop. Ran out of daytime. I want to show you what I did here, because basically I'm going to nail it up tomorrow, but what I've done is I put in some cross supports here. I measured the deck, so this is actually going to sit against the house. You need to have a little offset for the rafters, and I don't know if you can see it. I put in a straight line, and then on this side is where the other board is going to sit. So to help support it, keep everything rigid. On this thing, I switched and I used screws. I'll show you how I did that real quick. The reason that I use screws is because the pressure on the fastener, in this case, like I said, it's screws. The other sides I use nails. The pressure is going to be actually pulling down and lifting on the screw, and that's where a screw works better. Whereas a nail goes into something, and it's good on taking the pressure going up and down side to side, hitting it from the side there. So you want to use a screw in this case. So last night I finished up the shelf. We're gonna hang it up under the deck this morning. It was supposed to be, you know, like an hour-long project, but like I said, I had a lot of errands to do, and to rush things along, I enlisted some help. Hey guys, say hi.
Hi.
There's my other daughter. Let me show you how to hang it up, one of the best ways to do it. So that's it, I'm done. I have a shelf. I drove in the 16 penny nails, which will add it some good strength. That's why I'm a little out of breath. They're big nails. This is tough wood, and I had a little hammer. Anyway, shelf is done. So all in all, I got really lucky. I just happened to have this idea in the back of my head for a while, and I went to Home Depot, happened to find some scrap lumber. You could see a little purple spray right there. Built this whole thing. It took about an hour and a half, and that's even with the girls being involved and teaching them a couple little tricks and, you know, how to cut and do different stuff. About an hour and a half, and maybe about $30 in lumber is what I spent. I think without the sale, you know, for probably, if you didn't use such big lumber, 40 bucks, you could get it done. I would just definitely recommend use pressure treated lumber and use screws where screws should go and nails where nails should go. And that's about it. I'm gonna do that angle because the board looked crooked. I don't want you to think I did a half job here. So I'll show you some pictures of it done. It was stuff on it. It's good, it's solid. I could probably hang from it. You could do it too. Let us know if you have any questions. efinch.com, we're the friendly home improvement community. And you know, keep up the good work. Take care.